Hello, if we are a business owner who would like to have more confidence in our business books, or a business professional who would like to advance our career by understanding the bank reconciliation process and how it is done in accounting software like QuickBooks, or an accounting student who would like to apply the theory of bank reconciliation process to practical real-world software, practical software of QuickBooks Online, this course is a course for us. Why take this course? This course will include current content as of the date of this presentation, 2018. We will have more than just data input in this course, meaning we will go through the process of just entering the data to go through the steps of creating the bank reconciliation, but we'll also discuss why we're doing the process, how to set up the process, and once the process is done, how to interpret the end result in terms of actual bank reconciliation report. By going through this process, we can then apply the concepts to troubleshoot any problems in the future as we look through our own data set, and we can also use that process in order to really understand fully what it is the bank reconciliation provides for us, why it is the second best internal control, the first being the double entry accounting system, which accounting software like QuickBooks forces us to do in the first place, and why really both big businesses and small businesses should be applying this internal control. It'll give a lot more assurity over the accounting bookkeeping and our assurance over the records that we are producing with them. Because we are using the QuickBooks Online software, we're not able to give a backup that will put us right into place where we want to be in order to work exactly through the instructional videos. What we will do is give 2 months of instructional videos to show both the first month of content and then the second month of the bank reconciliation. We'll discuss a little bit more as to why the 2 months are important later, but we do want to point out that we will have the Excel files here and work the same problem within an Excel file. Therefore, we'll be able to see the process within the QuickBooks Online software, although we won't have the exact same data set that we can work through with it because we can't restore that data set to the online version. However, we will have the Excel files which will have the same data set, and we'll be able to go through it conceptually and actually tick and tie and move through the process with the Excel part of the course. Also note that we will have an actual bank statement type of document that'll look like a bank statement, as well as the accounting books, which is unlike many problems that do bank reconciliations where we really take a big shortcut and say, these are just the differences between the bank statement and the books. We're not just going to say these are the differences. We're going to do what actually happens in practice. We'll actually have a copy of just a simulation bank statement and then our accounting books, and we'll go through and we'll tick and tie everything out so that we'll get a better feel of what actually happens, what it means for something to be outstanding, what's the best way to actually tick and tie things out. It is a process that you can get better at and faster at. And then what does the actual report mean? Who will we be learning from? We'll be learning from a practicing certified public accountant, someone who has experience in accounting as well as teaching business and accounting courses and putting together complex courses in such a way that students can get from them what they want. We're learning from someone who has a Chartered Global Management Accountant designation, Masters of Science in Taxation, is a certified post-secondary instructor and curriculum development expert, having experience putting together courses in such a way that students get from them what they like. What will we learn? We're going to learn the QuickBooks Online bank reconciliation process. We'll go through the first month of the bank reconciliation. The first month is often going to be a month that's going to have more problems because we don't have that beginning balance in place. So we'll go through that first month of operations. If we're working in a company and we've been working in the QuickBooks for a while and we've never reconciled before, that first month of reconciliation, even though there's already data there, often difficult because we have to figure out what that beginning balance is. Once that is done, the reconciliation process within QuickBooks for following months is much easier, although we do want to interpret what it means for something to be outstanding. So the actual process of entering the data, as long as we do that, we could have more assurance, but it's good to have some idea of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So we'll also do the second month of the bank reconciliation in order to interpret that. And that'll give us an idea of the sense that these are the things that'll be outstanding in terms of checks and deposits in the first month. What happens to them in the second month of operations within QuickBooks? How do we check those off? What is the date difference? What is the timing difference that we are reconciling for between the bank statement and our books? We're also going to work the bank reconciliation in Excel. And this will give us a good check for us to actually do some hands-on material and a more transparent look than we actually get in the QuickBooks software. We're not going to be able to run the QuickBooks software ourselves and have the exact same data set because we can't back up the file. So we're going to have to just observe the process of the bank reconciliation within the QuickBooks format. But we can then go into the Excel format and really go through that same process in a more transparent way than we actually see in the QuickBooks process and see why we're putting this together and how it will be put together. And we'll do that, of course, for the first month and second month of operations within Excel. Then we're going to analyze the bank reconciliation. Another component of the bank reconciliation process is that it's very easy to learn within QuickBooks, especially if it's not the first month of operation, how to just go through and tick and tie everything out and still not understand what the bank reconciliation is doing, what the actual report means, or how to differentiate the report from the actual just data input process of the bank reconciliation. We're going to talk about what the report means. The QuickBooks reports for the bank reconciliation are typically a lot longer and may have more involved in them than you might think of when we think of just a bank reconciliation in theory. We'll discuss everything that's in there, why it's in there, and what the main components are for the bank reconciliation, why it gives us more assurance, why it's the number 2 internal control both small businesses and large businesses should be doing. How will we be taught? Through viewing and then doing. We're going to provide an example and then the resources to go through that example and work through the problem. Now, once again, we're not going to be able to see that information or work through it ourselves with the QuickBooks data, at least not with the exact same data set. So we're going to have to apply the concepts to whatever data set that we want to work through. However, we will have the Excel files and we will have the Excel documents so that we can watch the instructional videos and then go through that same process, the idea of and the concept of the bank reconciliation through that documentation. Presentation quality. This, in essence, will be the quality of the presentation. This is not a paid presentation of a much higher quality than will be provided in the course. This, in essence, will be the presentation quality. In addition to this, we will be providing the Excel documents that you can use and download and work through the problems with. Please join us for QuickBooks Online Bank Reconciliation. It will be great.